welcome to Black Girl Aesthetic Podcast. So
Yes.
I'm your host, Deshawn, and this is my lovely cast members. If you guys can introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Tati.
I'm Mulan.
My name's Adonis. You can find me on Instagram at DonTheBeloved09. You can also find me on I'm one half of the podcast My Aliens TV, so you can find me there as well.
So go ahead and get y'all social media.
Right. You can find me on Instagram at Mulan_Celestino or Facebook Mulan Celestino. TikTok as well. So follow me.
Y'all can find me on Instagram at iTati_A for Tatiana. But that's all.
And my Instagram is _3 Wizard Kelly.
Okay, so the next topic is called Firstborns Are Elite. So, all right. So who's the firstborn in here before I start? 1, 2, me.
I am as well.
Okay. So you're the first boy or just the first?
Firstborn, everything, yeah.
I'm the firstborn girl.
Everything.
Everything.
First girl.
Okay. So, do you feel like you lived a totally different childhood from your siblings, your younger
Yes.
siblings?
100%.
Completely.
1,000,000%.
I personally feel like being the firstborn child, you experience a different parent. So me personally, I just feel like I experienced like the first time parents, the paranoid parents, and then on top of that, it's like, you know, I don't want to say I grew up with my parents because they were kind of like a good, decent age having me. But at the same time, it's like, you don't know your parents the way I know your parents. Like, I saw you come out of your parents' vagina. Like, I was raw. I saw all y'all come out like that. So, no, it's way different experience on like everything.
Yeah, and I think it also like plays a part of how I view my younger sister now because she's having a baby, and I'm just like, you just don't know. Like, you got the grace, you got the apologetic, oh, I wonder if she feels bad about what I said, Mom. I didn't get that. I got I'm gonna whoop your ass. Like, it was, there was not a discussion. There was no, in my opinion, I didn't get the grace my little sister got, like, at all. The types of things, she wasn't a bad kid, but she got away with so much that now as an adult, she's wondering why I don't go like that anymore. And I feel like because of our different upbringing, we handle things totally different. And that's where we bumped heads. She's mommy's gonna fix it. We need to get this shit done before somebody else come in here. And because she's used to that, I feel like with her and being pregnant, she's just I feel like she's waiting for my mom to have the baby. That's really what it is. Like, she doesn't accept this idea like, oh, I'm having a baby, I'm gonna be a mom, because she's never had to have any responsibility. She's never had to worry about anything. Everybody cleaned up her mess. And now she's an adult making messes still, and she's just like, well, where y'all at? And it's just not the same. So I feel like being the firstborn, it gives me a different outlook on first world problems and how to fix things and how to get things done. But it came with a lot of trauma.
Oh yeah,
That's a big one. Yeah. And being the most responsible, it did teach. It teaches you responsibility, even if your parents didn't. Like, you have to be responsible because, like, that's your brother, that's your sibling. Yeah. Like, even if my mom couldn't do it or my grandmother couldn't do it, I would want it to be done for my sibling. Like, okay, I know my grandma didn't buy us these type of shoes, but I'm gonna go get it because, brother, I know going to school, you want good shoes or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So it teaches you a different level of responsibility, loyalty.
Come on, Cancer.
I had to take a sip first.
Yeah, we know.
Like I was saying, behind the scenes, I was an abusive, like, playful ass, prankster ass brother. So I felt like to make my brother tough, I had to like beat him up, or I had to do all this crazy shit, to toughen him up because we're 2 years apart, but he failed the third grade, so we were that much distant, in school. So I'm like, I know he's gonna be in school by himself. I really want him to be able to take care of himself. So I prepared him, like, and he didn't know what was going on until he went to school. Like, hey man, this shit's real, and he had to stand up for himself in instances like that, and he was already privy to it because I guess dealing with me at home, right? And so, but I was always the brother. I did fuck my brother up a lot, but I also it was very important how, you know, he went to school as well. You know, his shoes, his clothes and stuff. For the longest, he didn't know how to tie his shoes because I tied his shoes, you know, before he went to school. You know what I'm saying? And even my sister as well. I couldn't beat her up and all that stuff because she's a girl, of course.
Yeah.
So I did play pranks on you like a motherfucker. But I did, on the flip side of that, you know, to show, you know, that balance, you know, I bought her stuff and made sure she was fresh as well whenever I could and shit like that. So I definitely, you know, in retrospect and, you know, how they turned out, not too bad because my brother was able to, you know, really stand on his own when it came to, I'm talking about two dudes want to fuck my brother up and he fucks both of them up, you know, in the classroom on video, shit going around. That shit could have went left. I'm not putting it all on me. But I feel like, you know, I had an influence on that because, you know, he knew, you know, life was tough. And for boys, girls have it hard, but for boys, it's a different type of hard.
Yeah.
You know, I have some friends, they said they've never had to get into a fight, you know. That's good for you. You know, I just think personally, maybe you never really stood for nothing or had to stand for anything because, you know, me personally, it's hard.
Some people
it's
just
hard,
know how
bro.
to stay out the way, though.
Yeah, I be staying
And
out
I
the
was
way.
gonna
wasn't
say-
fighting because if I go home and they be like, "Oh yeah, she got suspended," my mom
Yeah.
finna fight again.
Yeah.
I'm finna fight again. That's the only reason why I wasn't fighting in school.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to get arrested, but in school, no, I'm not getting suspended and coming home. She gonna ship me off, and then I ain't no.
I used to fight with my brother. Well, I used to beat him up. And
I thought it was balanced at first.
him, his friends.
That's funny.
Well, only his friends because they used to fight each other. I mean, I could fight my brother, not you.
Yeah.
You know, especially not in
Only
front of me.
it's only okay if I do it.
It's only
Exactly.
okay if I, yeah, what are you
Facts.
doing?
Yeah.
And you think you're finna come to my house and beat up my brother?
You finna jump you.
Yeah, well,
We
no,
on
I'm
your
finna
ass.
beat you up. Like, I'm the oldest. Come on, bro.
Mhm.
No.
I think with my siblings, like my big brother, I want to say my big brother was like, I hope you don't watch this, but I feel like my big brother was my first like best friend because we came into a marriage together. We didn't know each other, and then now we live together, share a room, and it's like, okay, I got to deal with you like forever. So it's like he was to me like my best friend. So then when my sister came along, you know, me being a big sister of a girl, it was just like, okay, well, you know, I want to like make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
And now that she's an adult now, it's just like, you know, I try to be the sister because I do have a bigger sister. And I try to be the sister that I would want to like, because me and my big sister were like, we're close, but we're not close, like in distance. So it's just like, I want to be the big sister that I've always wanted. If that makes sense. Not discrediting my big sister, but I want to be the big sister that was always there whenever I called. If I needed anything, if I was in trouble, like I want to be that big sister for my little sister. So whenever my little sister call me, like she can call me right now. Hold on, y'all, I'll be back. Like I want to be that support system because I don't think parents understand that like having kids, it's a unity with the kids.
Yes.
Like it's loyalty with the kids. If my little brother go snitch on me, I'm finna beat you up. And then we gonna figure this out later. Like I'm gonna still talk to you, but I'm gonna beat you up because you the op now. So I know what not to do. What you the op.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I didn't have that at all. Like being that I was the oldest, my mom, she was incarcerated like most of our life, so I was basically like the mom for him. So I had to be like the mom. Like I'm not crying. I'm not like we gonna get through this. We gonna figure it out. And he was more of the emotional one. So I didn't know how to like. You know, I wasn't the come cry on my shoulder. Like I wasn't that.
And what about your dad?
Yeah, no.
So no mom, no dad.
Grandmother.
Yeah,
she was she was born in Overtown, raised in Overtown, so she had that. I didn't need that.
shit.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, dad stepped in every, but it was grandmother for me.
Yeah.
But my brother, he wanted that. Like I didn't crave dad, mom. Like I was fine as long as I had somebody. Like I was fine.
Yeah.
Him, he needed his dad or his mom. Like he's emotional. So it's just like, yeah, that's that was trauma. It's trauma as well.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
you say,
lot.
from being the oldest.
Yeah, as an adult, like when I tell you,
Yeah.
now that my sister's pregnant, it makes me sit down and think about a lot. Although we had different upbringings, although we lived in the same damn house, I still look at her like as a kid. I don't see her as an
Yeah.
adult,
Yeah,
and it's so hard for me to see her as an adult.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why we bump heads, because I'm like, where the hell you going?
Mhm.
Like, and my mom's sitting there like, I'm right here. I'm like, I didn't ask you, where are you going? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like growing up, I became like, I wouldn't even say like a omniscient presence, but it was like whenever she stepped out, where you going? What you doing?
Mhm.
Because me and you are different. You don't know how to handle shit if something pops off.
Yeah.
Who you
Mhm.
calling?
Know her.
Me. You're not calling mom. You would call me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now you would still call mom. Guess who she say you gonna call? Me. It's
Mhm.
not. We were raised different, and because I've always been I'm gonna say something. She may not say nothing. She gonna call somebody else to say something, but I'm gonna say something. Whenever it was an issue, she would call me. So now that we're adults, when I say it's so hard for me to see her, she's 21, and I just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. We're not that
Mhm.
far apart, but we far enough for me to be like, damn girl, like you're 21, like you're a whole person
Yeah.
outside of the house. You're not even outside. You may not even claim me. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy, because even her friends, I see her around her friends, and I'm just like, bro, we are so different.
Mhm.
We're so different in how we talk. Our friends are different. We like, again, I've always been the I ain't gonna fight nobody, but I'm gonna say something. Your friends ain't like that. You're not like that. And I said, wow, like you really have it. You had it so different from me. You didn't have to. I feel like because I was the oldest, I had to protect myself and her.
Yes.
And
Oh my
that's where that
gosh.
came from. I didn't.
Mhm.
She didn't have to
Yeah.
worry about nobody else. It's just, all right, Tati got me.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
I think being the oldest child, they give you that sense of responsibility. So you grow up kind of earlier than you want to.
Yes.
And then it's
Okay.
just like, let's say like your younger sibling does something, they gonna look at you like, why you let her do that? And it's just,
Mhm.
I'm a kid. Like,
Right.
what do you mean?
Yeah.
So now it's just like for me personally, I know for sure I had trauma. And it's not to discredit my parents because I had a good childhood.
Yeah.
But it's just like the psychological thing that's going on of you being
Because you're a kid.
yeah, you're a kid with all these responsibilities, and now you got to take care of another. My first concert, I went to the Chris Brown concert. Chris Brown and Bow Wow. Y'all remember that?
Mhm.
Yeah. I was a
Guess who
kid.
came with me?
Your
You-
sister.
My little sister.
Yeah.
I was like 12. My sister's like, what, 6? So now I have to watch me,
and
my sister, and whoever the fuck we was with.
Exactly.
So it was just
Mhm.
like, you know,
Yeah.
it's a sense of responsibility. Like, even like my little sister, she be doing some, like, we follow each other on Instagram. If she do some crazy stuff, hey,
Yeah.
you okay? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, if
Yeah,
she
my
get
little
into
sister
it
be
with my
up to no good
parents,
ever.
if she get into it with my parents, I'm asking her what happened. I'm gonna ask my parents what happened, because it's just like I feel like I have that need to like
Yeah.
shield her and like speak up for her, and it's
Yeah.
just like, and my little brother, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I don't know
Bryce
what
be
they're
tripping.
I don't know what they're gonna do with them, but it's just like he be wanting to spend time with me, and it's just like it's different once you move out of your parents' house and you're away from all that. So now you have to correct the things that you thought were right in the household. You got to correct all that because
Yeah.
you necessarily don't agree with what they did. So now you got to like reboot and
Especially
figure out
when your
yourself.
siblings still
Yeah.
living with them themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they'll listen to you, but then they get back to their house. It's still WWE. You
Yeah.
versus mom. Why y'all beefing?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
thought we talked about nah, she ain't let me use the car. Like, bro, what? Like, and unfortunately, being the older sibling, you get in the middle of it all the time. Even
Yeah.
if you were not in the house there, you become a part of the solution squad because
Yeah.
again, you see things differently than your sibling. Your sibling sees and your mom definitely don't give a damn. She's like, I'm a grown ass woman. I don't care about all this
Yeah.
emotional shit. Like, I had a mom, like, even though now she's a lot more different, but growing up, she was not with the whole, oh, you know, like we have anxiety or like we're
Oh, yeah, no.
depressed.
Yeah.
Go
But
pray it
yeah,
away. Or
Go to church.
Yeah,
We're
go lay
we're
down
going
to
to church.
something.
Like
Yeah,
she,
you know.
she was not like that now. Because again, my sister, she's seeing different things in my sister. She's able to, you know, like, oh, let's have a sit down. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Let's have a
I
sit
just
down.
she's a
Mhm.
lot more
Than your
caring and a
age.
lot more gentle. And I'm like, I wonder what made you start acting this way. What flipped in your head to make you say, my kids may be adults now. They may need somebody to talk to. Because as a kid, like, I'm not gonna say my mom was a workaholic, but she was a workaholic. She'll work further than where we live. So me and my sister were always by ourselves, like always with each other. So it's like now she's, you know, a lot more present, but it's like, I wonder what made you like finally sit down and say, I can't raise them anymore. Let me try and actually be in their lives like presently and, get in their minds and see what's going on, because at the end of the day, I'm your mom. Like I can't raise you anymore, but I can be there for you.
Yeah.
Because growing up, they wasn't having these conversations at all.
Nope.
At all.
I think what we forget about parents is that they're their own person. So they're going through whatever they're going through.
Right.
Plus being a parent. Because I know I have a friend who has a child and she be going through it mentally.
Mm-hmm.
But then here come Cassidy running through, want a hug. And it's like, you got to suck all that up and get that baby a hug. And it's just like, how do you like try to like be a parent, then figure out what's wrong with you and stuff that's changing? And then it's just, I feel like just parents just be having their own things going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, here come your emotionally unstable child. I feel like you don't love me because it's just like, what did I do wrong? And it's like, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just emotional. Like, I just want a hug. Like, so it's just.
I think because when it comes to kids, it's a whole nother mindset. Like as a parent, like you definitely have to know how to put certain things aside and like focus on your child. Because at the end of the day, that's a product of you. Mm-hmm. So you could sit here and tell your child, listen, leave me alone. I need to be able to deal with what I got going on. That child, you don't know how they take things. That little baby could go in there and
that baby gonna tell the whole class
make
what you just said.
Make a bomb and be like, my mom don't love me. Nobody living.
Right. Like just off of you saying you can't talk. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, I do notice a difference like between how I raised my first son and my second one.
Yeah.
And like I was more like on my first son. Like it was like, when I had my first child, I'm not gonna do this, do that, do that. But my second child was completely different. Like you wouldn't even think he has the same mom or dad. They have two different personalities, and they're the same sign, born like 2-3 weeks apart.
What's their sign?
Capricorn.
Oh, that's
whoa.
Neither here nor there.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like it's you as a parent. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everybody take it easy on your parents. Take it easy. They go through stuff too.
Even with our parents, like I've understood that there's certain skills that I've been able to learn as an adult that my parents haven't been able to learn. And I found myself being the adult with my parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mom, you shouldn't deal with that situation like this. You should deal with it like this. You know, even like work advice and, not just with my siblings, and stuff like that. My dad, I'm coming for you. My dad, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you real soon. Oh, mean ass nigga. But that's one person that we haven't been on the same page in a while because we have a lot of different like ideologies and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff I had to like unlearn, relearn, as I got an adult, and some of them offended him because he has a big like emotional attachment to a lot of things. So now in real time, he takes it as disrespect that I don't want to follow what he's taught me, growing up. But
that's dad's.
I've been that's dad's, right? But he's been coming around, and I feel like with everything going on and all the energetic shifts and shit, like it's about time, because I think we weren't cool for like probably like two years or something.
Yeah,
like
life is too short for that.
Yeah, it's dumb short. But I also know that distance is sometimes very necessary.
Yeah,
because you have someone in your area disrupting the energy and disrupting the peace. And I have kids, and I have my kids going over there, over to his house, so I can hang out with my siblings and stuff like that at his house. And the energy was just weird. I'm like, I don't want this around my kids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very, not just my energy. I feel like it's sacred, like even more sacred, my kids' energy. Yeah. So and I feel like with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, as of late.
Yeah, that's a crappy feeling.
Yeah. And all the crazy stuff going on in the world as of late, I feel like, we're coming around and, talking and.
I think you guys should just learn each other's boundaries. Like, usually that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because you both are adults at this point and you both are men. That's really important. Aries. And like just... Men are usually, I feel the same way.
I love Aries, but my dad is also a Cancer, and that's why I for him to be a grown man and his little emotions, it's very, again, it's very different because you wasn't like this as I was a kid. Like I didn't get this. Oh, why you don't talk to me? You was at work. You were drunk. You didn't care. You didn't like. I'm a kid.
I ain't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
No offense, Dad. You know what you was doing. Like you may not drink now, but And I think that's what it is. Without the alcohol, without whatever it was keeping you away from us, now that you realize, oh, they're adults, they can go anywhere in the world and they may never speak to me again. I need to act right. Because the pandemic, that's when he started popping back up. And I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you since I was in middle school. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I wanted you to come to my high school graduation. That was years ago. What do you want?
Mhm.
And it took almost like about a year and a half for me and him to, be really on speaking terms, because I didn't like the idea of you popping up and being all emotional because I don't want to talk to you. Duh. Why would I? I didn't speak to you in years. And it wasn't like both of us got a phone. It was you deliberately not wanting to, you didn't want to be in reality. Whatever you're going through, whether it was depression or dealing with whatever, you didn't want to deal with your current reality. So you said, okay, I'm gonna get drunk and do whatever. And that's what you did. And your consequence was not having a whole family and constantly wondering what your kids are up to. Now that we're closer and I'm able to talk to you and call you, it's still a little disconnect. He's still, because he's Caribbean from Bahamas. Like, they are Caribbean men, unfortunately Caribbean dads, they're never, ever, ever going to understand what I'm saying, ever. Mm-hmm. My uncles, none of them. They will never understand the idea of, me not trying to go chase a man and get married and have kids. Like, they don't get that. Because in their culture, at this age, why aren't you not married? Or why don't you like hang around men? Or what's wrong with having kids? Like, that's their ideal. So him seeing my sister, he's also like, he has an opinion, but it's not like how it was when we were kids. He's learning like boundaries. He's learning his place. He's learning, I don't have to speak on everything. I don't have to have an opinion about everything my daughters do. They're adults.
And I was going to say, I think we have to just give them time.
Yeah.
Because there were seeds that I planted, with my father, and he didn't start peeping them until like years later.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not the one to be, I told you so. I'm not that nigga. But
honestly,
it's appreciated, that it's been acknowledged, you know what I'm saying?
Like, time is good to give and all, but we're at a time where it's like, you never know.
Exactly.
Like, time is not waiting on us. And I would hate, like, I would give time, but for me, it's a limit on time. And I have to learn to just, like, suck it up and just learn how to deal with the person. Like, that's what I do now.
Okay.
I have to learn how to deal with you. Like, I don't have to connect with you on the level that you may feel we need to, but for my sake, like, especially for a dad or a parent, like something of that sort, and I have kids, I need to figure out how we can deal with each other at a respectful level, because I mean, that's our kid. That's the kids that's really missing out. It's not about me and you anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have a family now that needs to know their granddad. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I have to come like to a medium at some point in time without giving each other like 2 years. That's a long time.
It is.
That's a long time. And then, okay, you guys get back cordial. Then, like, you guys are used to not talking for a time. Yeah. So now y'all going to disagree about something else that's so simple, so minor.
Sweetheart, when I tell you, like, because I'm a Cancer and I understand that I get emotional, especially when I overthink. And you were talking about your dad. A Cancer that abuses a substance is a very dangerous Cancer.
Yeah.
Not just to themselves, but to the individuals that they love as well. Because Cancers have very addictive properties.
Yep.
But piggybacking off what you were saying, my father, communication, Pop, if there's anything I am doing to upset you, I would like you to tell me versus just going ghost or being weird. Because the sooner that you tell me something, that's the sooner that I can fix it. If there's any person on the world that I don't want upset, it's you, because nigga, you're you. So when I've said this shit verbatim and then the reciprocation is, whack, I'm not finna keep kissing ass, keep kissing ass. And I just feel like time, because we've fallen out before. I had got arrested in high school, and then, he was ashamed of me and stuff, and then we fell out. But time, he called me one day, hey, man, I'm done beefing, dog. Yeah. I'm done beefing. What's up? Where you at? Let me pick you up. Let's chill. And I like our parents be going through stuff that we don't understand, we don't see, and that it's not communicated to us. Yeah. So I use that same concept from the first time we fell out to the second one. Like, I'm doing everything on my end to make sure that we're okay, and you're not doing everything on your end to make sure we're okay. So maybe you don't want us to be okay because you don't want me in. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you have going on. And that's what I chalked it up to be. And now, but we still saw each other because my little brother still was coming over my house and stuff like that. and we were hanging out. So I'll see my dad, hug him, say what's up, whatever. But you know, as having like full conversations, not until recently. And now and you said that, but it's actually the inverse. When we talk to each other, we can't get the fuck off the phone. Like we just stay on the phone for a long time. Like an hour done flew by, and we like, damn,
Y'all
fuck.
catching up.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Yeah.
And like time and it sucks. Some people don't have that grace. You know, you think someone is gonna be there 2 years later, and then they die.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the
and-
worst feeling. You're there like, oh my gosh, all that time that I've missed or we've missed being stubborn, not being able to come to each other or just let it go.
Yeah. And on my side, it was like shit to let go. I'm like,
Yeah.
bruh, love me, dog. Like,
Like,
what are you
bro.
doing? Like,
Mhm.
but it's deeper than rap. It's not what we want and what we perceive. You know,
Yeah.
a lot
But
of-
you may have got that reaction because he know that's what you wanted, and he feel like if that's what you wanted, you would do right by him.
What he thinks is right,
Correct.
right?
What the way he thinks
Yeah.
is right. So once you just accept that whether you love me or not, you're still my dad,
Uh-huh.
and just, hey, I made that mistake. What's up, Dad? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I
just
feel that.
completely disregard it. But with your
Cause yeah, he got his shit that he stands
Yeah,
on. You're right. You're
yeah,
right.
that's why he do it. People do
Yeah.
things knowing reactions already.
Of course.
Like,
Okay, so we're gonna get into the last topic.
okay,
So, how do you guys feel about experiencing a healing journey?
oh, super. Important. Healing is so important. Like, I didn't learn how to heal till maybe about 3 years ago after like an 8-year relationship. And after that relationship, I was like I realized a lot of things about myself, like trauma, everything. So, and I'm like, bro, I really have to heal. Like, if I want to be able to move forward, not just in a relationship, just like
As a
with my
person.
kids, as a person, because I noticed I was like more upset. Like, I wasn't the mom I wanted to be to my kids. Like, yeah, healing is super important.
Impatient,
Yeah, and I feel
probably.
like
Yes,
isn't
I was like
Irritable.
impatient, irritable. That
Shut
word.
your ass up.
Yes.
Ain't nobody
Yes.
talking.
Right. They just walking around humming or something. I'm just like snappy. And I'm like, bro, I sat down one day and I'm just like boo-hoo crying. Cause I'm like, this is not me. You
I
get
told
what
you,
I'm
them
saying?
Taurus be crying, motherfucker.
Man,
I'm telling you.
shut
You done said that about 3 times on this
First off,
podcast.
Y'all never see it.
First off, I was in the house by myself in a room and I locked the door and closed it. You would never walk in on nothing like that.
Y'all never cried with somebody y'all were comfortable with?
No.
Why would we?
Exactly.
I've had Tauruses that's super comfortable with me.
Like,
and
I'll
just
like if we
boo-hoo
cool,
crying in front of
and
me,
there's
dog.
nothing
Oh my
wrong with
God.
it.
If they cried in front of you, I don't know if I
Uh-huh.
would believe that. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I cry in
it's
front
bad-
of you,
if
it's
it's
purposely.
bad,
3
yeah.
of them, because I'm going to throw my mom in it.
Oh
Oh,
Lord.
shoot.
Oh yeah, you got tired.
I think that people don't understand
Right.
that healing
get it, I
journeys
get
are
it.
very like, it's not pretty. It's not like
Nope.
Yeah.
it's very messy. It's very
Yeah.
emotional.
It's very raw.
Healing is not
because you're
linear.
figuring out that you're the problem with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's your inner
yes.
like. I had to understand. I used to be so
Oh,
angry,
Lord.
like not
Mhm.
like. I used to be so angry and just so like complain a lot and just so like
Yeah.
all these bad habits.
Ew,
And when I
Geminis.
first shut up, oh my gosh, us Geminis do a lot of healing. Okay. Oh no, not
I know the
I'm
crybaby.
kidding,
Not
I'm
the
kidding.
cancer.
Crybaby not saying
I'm
anything.
No,
kidding.
for real. But when I got my first
Y'all
apartment,
ain't hear me cry yet.
You gonna cry in the car.
Any,
Stop
any
playing.
of these stories.
you finna cry in the car.
About what?
Anyways, so when I got my first apartment, I told myself like, okay, this is a new step. You know, I want to move with love. Everything I do, I want to move with love. I always tell my boyfriend, I'm cooking with love because it's gonna be nasty. If I don't move with love, it ain't gonna come out the way I wanted it to
I
come
know
out.
that's
Fact.
right.
So what happened was when my
Big
first
witchcraft.
shut up. With my first apartment, I was just like, okay, so you know, I want to create like a regimen for myself. I want to journal. I want to pray. I want to do something to make me like not around that time. I didn't have social media, so I used to work out a lot. I used to like be very like active or whatever. And I noticed that like, you know, my moods changed, my weight changed, like my perspective on life changed. I used to get a whole bunch of, you're so happy all the time, why you like this type of thing. And it's just like people don't understand that like them times where I was happy, I was at home like really
Yes.
praying and crying like,
Yes.
God help me be a better person. I always pray about being like, help me be the best me I can be. Like
Facts.
somebody asked me the other day, what do you want out of life? And I said, I just want to be genuinely happy.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be happy in everything I'm doing, physically, spiritually, emotionally happy. Because it's just like there's no amount of money that's gonna make me want to feel like
niggas be having money and killing themselves.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just want a peace of mind. Like I just want everything to be okay and just happy. I want to be happy with myself, happy with my family, happy with whatever.
Yeah.
So people don't understand that healing journeys. I'm the problem, and I'm trying to fix it. And when fixing it, it involves you and your surroundings.
Yeah.
You ever notice that you stop hanging around people and your blessings start coming up out of nowhere? Like I just stuff like that is just like
eye opener
yeah
and understanding.
yeah. And on top of that, I had a problem with enjoying my own company. So what happened was I used to take myself out on dates.
Yeah.
And I used to try to figure out like what exactly
The
does
best.
Deshaun like?
Right?
Like
The best.
Right.
Oh man,
Right?
Yeah.
it's the best.
Mhm.
Go get your feet done. Go get your nails done.
Yeah.
Get a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Go
But
get
I
something to
have-
eat by yourself.
I
Go
have
get a drink.
detachment issues. I have detachment issues. Like I could do that. I don't mind it. Like I could do that whenever. I will get up, go take myself out to eat and have a ball.
Mm-hmm.
But babe, I need you to be home when I get there.
And ain't nothing wrong with
Like,
that.
It's
I-
not nothing wrong with that because you
I
had
mean,
your
it
time
is,
though.
Like even
Yeah.
like for example, in the event where this is a person you're probably not supposed to be with.
I just said this on the thing I posted the other day.
Yeah.
God gonna scoop them out your life.
No, for sure.
They gonna scoop them
For
up real
sure.
quick.
No, for
Scoop
sure.
'em.
Mhm.
That's funny as shit.
Yeah.
I just talked about it yesterday when I posted it. When you pray that prayer, God, if these people are not for me, take them out. You gonna see your friends.
Especially if you
beefing
talking about
with-
some healing, God gonna be like,
Yeah.
watch how I heal you. Boom.
Watch this.
Boom.
No,
Watch
that's the process I'm in now. Like I've God set me down, took his heels, slapped the back of my neck. When I tell you
Damn.
I am up, Lord, one thing about it,
Mhm.
and the grateful part is that I'm not to a place where I'm like broken, and that's the biggest thing. Like as far as healing, like God didn't like. How do I put this? This has been something that God has been like
Working on
putting
it.
in place and working on
Been in
me.
the works.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yes, like spiritually though,
Facts.
not even like preparing me for that, just preparing me mentally.
Yeah.
Like he knew what was coming
He gonna
and
give you the tools.
gave me the tools to be prepared. Like I
qualify
had a
you.
dream, I had this,
Mhm.
I had that, and it's
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is what's coming. What are
Mhm.
you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing everything I can to show you
Mhm.
what you don't need. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you the tools with the things that you have left over to be the person you need to be. What are you gonna do with that?
Yeah.
So healing is so
Yeah.
like
I feel like healing, I don't know. When I first got the idea of healing, I felt like I was sold this idea, like a dream, like, oh, you're going to heal. Like, you're going to read Bible verses every day and do
Mm-mm.
yoga and walk around
Mm-mm.
Wynwood and then
At
go.
all.
No. And then
Farting
what they.
rainbows.
You
Yeah,
gonna
they don't-
smell something. You gonna smell something,
You
and it's
gonna
gonna
be-
make you cry.
Like, you going to be
where's this
outside
coming from?
meditating.
Right.
And then on top of that, they always make it seem like healing is like, oh, yeah, you're going to be healed and then you'll be able to go back in the world. No.
No. Nope.
Healing is a journey. Like
Yeah.
anything could trigger you and put you right
Yep.
back in square
Yep.
one.
You go back
and
in
then
the
you'll
world.
be mad at the world
Mm-mm.
after all that hard work you've done.
Yes.
And I realized, oh, okay, there is no ending to healing. I'm always gonna be talking to
Hello.
myself, talking to God, in therapy, doing the work.
That's why
Mhm.
you always have to keep yourself in positive environments.
Yes.
You have to keep yourself around people that will like encourage you,
Yeah.
Exactly.
like build you up. Even though at the end of the day you're gonna build yourself up,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but you really have to. We at an age where we have to understand we have to be able to take from every room we walk in, or
Exactly.
else there's no point of walking in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not
Facts.
coming in here for nothing.
Mhm.
So it's like you have
Yeah,
to
we
learn
need
that.
community. And the
Yeah.
older we get, the more you realize what type of people
You
are
wanna-
going, who
You
you
wanna
gonna
be around.
gravitate. You
Yeah.
gonna gravitate around people
Mhm.
you need. Now, it may not be people you want. It's many friends that I've had currently that I would have never expected us to be this close, but because those are the type of people I need around me for this part of my
That
life,
add value.
they're gonna be there and benefit me in ways that not
Mhm.
just financially, not just, oh, come with me to this party. They're gonna be able to help me speak up for myself when I don't feel like I'm hearing myself, or
Yeah.
speaking up in rooms
That's a
that
big one.
I've never walked into. Because
Mhm.
I remember right before the pandemic, I guess that's when I dealt with my anxiety a lot, trying to do stuff by myself, take myself out on dates. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Why do I feel this way? It's like, that point in my life, it wasn't meant for you to be by yourself all the time. You needed somebody to talk to. Although I may not have wanted to, I needed somebody else to hear me because I'm the only one hearing what I'm saying, and I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like community is such a big thing, and being a part of something is a big thing, because
Find your tribe.
you
seed, bro.
find your
Mhm.
tribe.
Mhm.
You'll blossom better. You won't just be you'll be you and company. And I think that's important for healing.
I was on the phone with my dad the other day, and I was telling him, I feel like I'm because this will be my second healing journey because it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
So I was telling my dad, like, I'm in the process of being in a healing journey. Like, I just feel like I need to reevaluate a couple things. I see some bad habits coming back, whatever. He was like, don't you think something's wrong? I said, no, there's room for growth. There's always room for growth. There's always, like, I'm not going to be the same person next year.
At all.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Next week, fuck that.
no, for real. So it's just like,
next day,
yeah.
As soon as you walk in the shower, you done bathed off the day.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
come on now.
So it's just like, I feel like I'm really like big on like spirituality and my discernment, and everything I do, I'm gonna pray first and I'm gonna get back to you later.
exactly.
Because it's just like
That's fire.
things just be too crazy, and I just don't want to I don't want to involve myself, put myself in anything that isn't supposed to be. Like, I'm walking with God. I just said the other day, God, my dog. It's me again. I'm praying to you about something again.
Yeah.
I have
Because-
to get more into that.
Mhm.
Like, that's one of my downfalls. I want to get back into like praying before, like that whole. Don't get me wrong. I believe in God and I go to Him, faithfully. But I need to be more like walking. Like, I need to grab His hand at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it's me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Take the wheel.
Yeah, like take the wheel.
I feel like working on being faithful is a good thing too. I used to
Yeah.
always hear that in church. I didn't know what the hell they was talking about, but as an adult, it's like having faith, especially faith on
Yeah.
mustard seed. God gonna make some shit shake.
Hello.
Listen,
Ooh.
If you could pray about it, what it's supposed to happen, it's happening. It's done.
Yeah.
me and my siblings used to be in church a shift
Join it.
from like 7. We went to the same church. We went to the same church.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on now.
From
Shifts.
from like
Churches.
what 6, 7 in the morning
Every
to like
day,
3
the
o'clock.
bus
And
gonna
don't go to
come,
sleep.
You gonna get
No.
picked up and
Oh,
you gonna
no.
get back like
Go to
4
sleep in
p.m.
church.
Yes.
And go home and go to sleep for the rest of the day. Grandma, I took my nap in church.
No, first of all, you
What?
can't go to sleep because
You
Sister
can't.
Smith gonna come and get
Yeah.
up. Yes, she finna come tap you
Bruh,
and get
we
up.
used to get popped.
Yes,
And
she's standing right behind
nobody else
us.
gonna hear you scream. It's
And
just
then
gonna be you and her. Or she
don't
gonna
let-
take you to the bathroom.
Oh.
Don't let you not worship. She finna come behind. Y'all better get up and praise
Stand
the Lord.
up. Especially when it come to offering. Oh, you better get the offering and come back and
Whatever
stand up and
change
clap.
you got from the corner store, you better put it in the basket.
If they see
I
you at-
forgot we went to church together. Oh my
Child.
gosh.
Sounds like a mean church, man.
Right?
God
When you
damn.
think about it,
No,
as
but-
an
no, but-
adult.
Ah,
No, but I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like
y'all was cutting up.
no.
Not me.
No, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, that really planted the seed for me to be closer to God. Because as I got older in high school, because I was there like what, elementary school to like high school.
Yes.
That's
All
so-
the way, bro.
It planted the seed for me to like now. So I had an idea of God, but I think I needed to have my own relationship with God to really
Mhm.
figure out what was going on.
I ain't gonna lie.
A lot of people tell
'Cause
me
I
what
couldn't
type of
stand
relationship
getting up every
you're supposed
morning
to
and
have
going
with
on
God.
that damn church
I
bus.
ain't get that seed to after I became an adult. When I was younger, baby, I was asleep. I was just there, like
I know church. They gonna wake you up.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was
See,
forced. My
uh-uh.
mom pushed me on the bus, even if they wasn't going. I think that's what got on my
Yeah.
nerves the most.
Yeah.
Because my parents were out there and they had the option. I was like, why I don't got the option?
That's
Why?
crazy.
Because even my little sister, once she started getting of age to like move around and stuff, they like, oh, we'll go to church as a family with her. I'm like, oh, so you guys still gonna send me on the bus? Like, and I feel like that's what caused me and my relationship with God to be so kind of faulty, because in a way, as a kid, I was mad. I was like, why I gotta be here? Like, I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
almighty.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that until I
Yeah.
got older. I'm like, oh.
that right.
You was supposed to be there.
Because
dog.
now I like going. I like singing along. I like listening to the pastor. As a kid, I had a short attention span. I want to go
Mhm.
home.
That was me.
Yeah.
I want to go to the candle lady and then go home. I didn't
Yeah.
feel the need to.
I could be there and be thinking
Listen,
about
our church was in the
everything
city, child. It wasn't nowhere
Yo.
special. This was on 62nd and like
Yo.
17. We was
Yo.
depth in the deep
Oh.
city. Like,
else.
you can't go too far.
And
Like,
the older we got, the less stuff we were able to do in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like that, all those corner stores. Most of the reasons they got closed down because people
they-
was getting killed in them,
yeah,
or they would change owners because the owners would get shot.
yeah.
But as kids, we innocent. We like, oh, new owner, what's up? Like we didn't realize the change that was taking place in the city.
Yeah.
Like I remember all them little project areas, all that's got torn down. That's a whole new little
Yeah.
apartments. I'm like, this don't even look.
Mm-hmm.
Child, I said church days we didn't realize how much stuff God was really protecting us from, especially at that church.
Yeah.
Child, we used to walk up to church, crackheads just outside
for
naked,
real. Yeah,
and we walk in the church like, hey,
yeah.
and
It was.
they like go walk past. Like
Yeah.
we didn't realize that stuff. We didn't get it, and I'm glad that I was so naive and so young, because now looking back, I'm like, the kids getting shot on that avenue,
Yeah.
and they still going to church. Like
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
crazy. It really is a blessing.
There's some instances, and people call me, and on the inverse, you guys keep saying I'm emotional because I'm a Cancer, but on like the flip side, people say I'm very unemotional. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nonchalant, I know.
No, ooh, I hear that.
But
a
are you
lot.
pretending though?
Yeah,
No.
because
It's definitely a pretend.
It's a pretend.
Hey,
And it's okay to
look at me.
pretend, but be honest.
Hell no.
Are you?
Hell no. It's all real.
That's hard to believe.
I know.
I feel like it's
I
okay
know,
to be
right?
emotional though. Everybody
It's like,
decided
I
And
to
think
that's
you
what
hate
I
how
am.
emotional you
There's
are.
things in life where I just feel like draw emotion out of me, but the stuff that people care about, I really don't give a fuck
And
about.
that's okay.
And there's just a couple things that I give a fuck about, and I'm really
Like
willing
what?
to jump out the window for those things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm healing. There's some instances in life where I wasn't hurt, but I still needed to heal.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you know, in those points, actually, I did the hurting.
Well.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about getting arrested in high school. Me and my friend, we jumped this kid real bad, and we got felony battery. And from that experience, I needed to heal from it because what you call it? I never hurt someone so bad to the point where I got arrested, and stuff like that. And seeing my family being hurt and stuff like that, it changed my POV and made me realize that, hey man, the shit you doing ain't cool.
Yeah.
At all. You really need to take shit more serious, especially being the older sibling. Like we were talking about earlier. You need to set a better example, for your siblings. Like, getting arrested is not cool. And I feel like I did all that for my siblings.
And then you lock me
so
up.
y'all can be like, okay, I know not to do that. And smart as they are, that's how they looked at it. Okay, man, that nigga fucking up. I'm not doing that shit. Some people look at it inverse, like, oh, my brother did that. I'm next. And it was actually the inverse because just the relationship that we had, and they understood that I wasn't that type of person. I was just like wrong place, wrong time type situation. And I definitely need to heal from that. It was a whole process, like going to alternative school and stuff like that. Not being able to do stuff like a normal kid. My parents stopped buying shit for me. Like, man, you ain't going to normal school, man. Fuck you. Man, you wearing the same shit, man.
Yeah.
Man, fuck that. We'll talk about it when, once you get out. And they held up the end of the bargain. I graduated normal school my 12th grade year. I was able to go back to normal school. But yeah, it was a buku healing process, and it was so much to the fact that I didn't even give a fuck about college. I tell y'all that. Like, me just graduating high school was just so monumental, for my mom and dad and myself. Shit, my family, period. Everything that I was putting them through. I'm like, man, I wouldn't even focus on college, at that point. And I feel like, that was one instance in my life where, I definitely had to grow from because my actions and hurting the people around me, what I'm saying, I really had to buckle up and understand that, nigga, it's not just you out here. Every action you do affects the people around you. And me in adulthood now in real time, me having kids, you could imagine how amplified it is, for me right now in real time. Every decision I make, I'm like, if I do this, how is this gonna affect them? It's how I'm looking at stuff. And I think everything's a blessing. Even this stuff you guys were talking about, it may have been traumatic at those points in time, but look how beautiful you guys are to this day. Yeah, for real. I don't think you guys would be here if you guys didn't go through those instances. So, healing, bro, for real. For real.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap up this. That was a lovely response.